Throughout the 5th century, the Western Roman Empire had been steadily disintegrating under the iron fist of barbaric tribes. In 476, the last Roman emperor abdicated the throne. To many, the Roman Empire had finally fallen.
But did it really? Did it really fall? Because at the same time, here in Constantinople, the Eastern Empire is thriving. It's prospering. And in 527 AD, an emperor named Justinian comes to the throne, who's not only completely committed to recodifying all of Roman law, he's bent on reconquering Constantine's empire.
Justinian I ruled during the Byzantine Empire's golden age. Yet, ironically, the man who lusted after the glory of ancient Rome was an outsider.
Well, the Emperor Justinian was born a peasant in what is now northern Yugoslavia, and he came with his uncle Justin to Constantinople to seek their fortunes.
His 40-year reign would be marked by intellectual brilliance, an unparalleled work ethic, and unbridled ruthlessness. 2 years before ascending to the throne, Justinian married a beautiful, strong-willed woman named Theodora. But there was just one problem. Theodora was a former burlesque dancer. So to take her checkered past out of the equation, Justinian simply promoted her. The day he was crowned emperor, he named Theodora as his co-empress. Her ascension to power sent shockwaves through the Byzantine aristocracy.
She was supposedly a prostitute hanging out around the hippodrome, involved in things like bear dancing. Not exactly sure what happens in bear dancing, but it definitely was not such a great thing. And she had a very active sex life.
Together, Justinian and Theodora would rule the empire as equals.
She must have been highly intelligent, and she must have been very wily, very successful at court politics.
Justinian quickly realized that his legacy would be built on restoring the bygone glory of ancient Rome. He began by reclaiming Western territories that had been lost over the years. Back home in Constantinople, Justinian went on a construction spree.
Bad news is, to pay for this building, he went on a ballistic campaign of taxation, which was just as popular then as it probably would have been now. Along with the taxes, he tries to control or stamp out any form of pagan celebration, the study of the ancient philosophers at Athens, gambling, prostitution, adultery, homosexuality, any Christian that doesn't see it his way, and the Jews. He didn't have a lot of fans, but so what? He's an emperor. He's not listening to approval ratings. But you know what? He should have.
As Justinian tightened his grip on the people, the city's resentment turned to rage, and unlike other civilizations where the masses had no place to voice their anger, the Byzantines had their hippodrome. The hippodrome was the center of Constantinople's public life. Conceived as a stadium for chariot racing, it could hold as many as 100,000 people. Construction of the hippodrome had taken place over centuries. It was a gigantic task incorporating every known building technique. Shaped like an enormous U and modeled after Rome's renowned Circus Maximus, Constantinople's hippodrome was nearly 1/3 of a mile long and wider than a modern-day football field. But the site its architects had chosen sloped severely to the south.
And there they built vaulted substructures. As is common in ancient Rome, vaulted substructures to create a level platform.
Freemen and masons were brought in from around the Mediterranean. Their first task, to build the substructure's arched wall 4 stories tall. The arches created a gallery for shops and cafes. Above the substructure, 2 tiers of columns and more than 30 stone rows surrounded the sand-covered racing track. Like all Byzantine emperors before him, Justinian sat in an imperial box called the Kathisma, giving the Byzantines a rare glimpse of their ruler.
It was a combination of sports stadium, public spectacle stadium, imperial propaganda, pulpit, all those things. It could seat huge numbers of people.
Huge bets were wagered by fans of the various teams. The blues, greens, reds, and whites.
They were like political factions in our world, and so disputes over soccer results as today, or disputes over chariot races, could take on a significant political dimension in Byzantium.
The Hippodrome was one of the architectural glories of Constantinople. But in 532 AD, it would also become the site of one of the most brutal acts of an emperor against his people. One day in early January, Justinian, by now wildly unpopular thanks to his harsh policies and heavy taxes, appeared before a raucous crowd at the Hippodrome.
All of a sudden they came together, and they came together against the emperor. The ceremonial political center of the empire was right there, and you had tens of thousands of people opposed to the emperor right at the core of the empire.
The blues and the greens weren't like the Jets and the Sharks. They were factions that ran all the way from street thugs right up the political animal to the aristocracy. So when thousands and thousands of both blues and greens stormed the Hippodrome screaming, "Nika, Nika, win, win," against these horrible taxes, it would have been like both Republicans and Democrats storming the Super Bowl screaming about the same thing, which may not be a bad idea. The sad news is it turned into a riot, and the riot turned into mayhem, and a week later, a third of the city lay in ashes. Justinian was so scared he was about to pack his bags and split. But thank goodness for a strong woman.
He was all prepared to get on a ship and clear off to the Asian side of the Bosphorus, but the Empress Theodora, who started life as an actress stroke prostitute, said, "I've got this far, I'm not giving up now, you know, stay and fight." So he did.
Theodora's words convinced Justinian, and his response would be calculated and horrifying. He dispatched his generals to gather a force and march to the Hippodrome.
The conclusion of the Nike riot is one of these events of biblical proportion. Justinian calls the rebels to meet in the Hippodrome, suggesting that he may compromise with them. But in fact, he gets them into the Hippodrome, closes the gates, and they are massacred by the imperial troops.
Within minutes, all the rebels within its walls had been systematically slaughtered. The center of Constantinople's public life had become the killing grounds for an estimated 30,000 people.
He was an approachable and gentle man who could, with a quiet voice, order the murder of thousands of people.
The capital lay in ruins, but in the ashes, Justinian spied opportunity. Now, he would re-engineer an everlasting legacy in the name of absolute power, his own. From the ruins of Constantinople would rise one of the world's most magnificent churches that would become the center for a new religion and a monument to Byzantine engineering. 532 AD. Emperor Justinian has just survived the Nika riots, but the heart of the Byzantine Empire lay in ruins. Re-energized, Justinian would reassert his power and rebuild the capital in the name of God and himself.
What Justinian did after his imperial army put down the riot was to immediately begin to refurbish the city and proclaim to the citizens that he was in control and that everything was right in the Roman Empire.
Now, we remember Justinian not because he was ruthless, but we remember the period of Justinian because he has left us such an incredible architectural legacy.
Justinian's first priority was to rebuild the city's main cathedral, called the Church of Holy Wisdom. We know it today as the Hagia Sophia. Justinian appointed two Byzantine architects, Isidorus and Anthemius, to design the church. Both were professors of mathematics and physics, skilled in theory, but with no real construction experience.
The architects of Hagia Sophia were not the standard architects of the day. They, for better or worse, were professors. We professors sometimes don't have the most sound practical knowledge.
But the far-sighted Justinian gave them a free hand with only two demands: build it as quickly as possible and make it unlike anything else on Earth. Construction began a scant 6 weeks after the Nika riots.
It took years to put together building teams, to bring together all of the building materials that were needed for a great project in the empire. Justinian did it practically instantly.
Isidorus and Anthemius's design for the cathedral was revolutionary in concept and unprecedented in scale. They set out to create the largest dome ever built, 100 feet across. They began by using an architectural device first attempted by the Romans, but never fully achieved. It was called the pendentive. The first step, construct 4 massive arches on which the dome would rest. Next, the pendentives, rounded triangles that connect the dome's circular base to the square base below and distribute its weight evenly among the 4 arches. By adding smaller semi-domes, an even larger area would be created. Using pendentives, Justinian's architects were able to construct a gigantic dome that appears to hover in mid-air. The dome rises 184 feet, 30 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty. The nave over which the dome hung would be a massive open space measuring 229 feet by 245 feet.
There were 100 teams of workmen, each with 100 men, with half of them working on the north side of the building, half of them working on the south side of the building, and competing to create the great building.
A church of unprecedented proportions grew up magically, almost magically, faster than any kind of construction at that time on that scale.
Hagia Sophia was dedicated in 537 AD, less than 6 years after the first stones were laid.
Justinian was very proud of his church, as he should be. It was a great idea, it was a great conceptual plan. The implementation of that plan, the actual structure, was risky.
A more experienced, more pragmatic builder would have seen that trying to build a dome of this size with the materials given in a short amount of time would have been dicey at best. Before the construction was even finished, the 4 piers hold up the arches started to buckle and collapse. 20 years later, an earthquake happens, boom, whole dome comes in. Now, Isidorus the Younger, the nephew of the original Isidorus that built it, addressed the flaws in the dome, had to reconstruct it. One of the flaws, most important one, is that he raised the pitch of the dome because more vertical load of a higher dome will drive the weight into the ground, which is good support. A short, squatty dome with horizontal load drive the weight sideways, and kaboom, the dome falls in. So Isidorus raises the dome 21 feet, boom, and voila, you got the dome you see today.
Hagia Sophia was known for more than just its novel design. Even the columns were elaborately adorned with monograms of the emperor and his empress.
We are never allowed to forget that this is the great achievement of Justinian and Theodora.
Emperor Justinian had created a centerpiece for Christianity and further solidified Constantinople as the capital of the Christian world.
He got an architect that was going to make a grand statement, and a grand statement was made. The largest church in Christendom, the greatest dome space in the world until the Renaissance. He got a building that dwarfed any of the great baths of ancient Rome or any of the great temples of the ancient world.
By the end of his reign, the Byzantine Empire had grown to its greatest size, encompassing Syria and Palestine, Asia Minor, Italy, Greece, and southward throughout North Africa and Egypt. But the Byzantine people would pay the price of expansion. Justinian's near-constant military campaigning, combined with his zeal to rebuild Constantinople, virtually bankrupted the Byzantine Empire.
The empire really never recovers from the megalomania of Justinian. It's perhaps fitting that the dome of Hagia Sophia collapses. It's as if Justinian, as he is overextending the political boundaries of the empire, he's also overextending the architecture as well.
For 3 centuries after Justinian's death, a series of emperors would rule over a shrinking empire.